How's it going, guys? This is Brad and Sean with Best Price Nutrition. You can check out our website, BestPriceNutrition.com. We have a 14,000 square foot warehouse that we ship out of. We have a huge selection of products. Go on our website. You'll see what I'm talking about. And subscribe to our email list so that you know when we have our weekend deals, our flash deals, all that stuff. So today what we're going to do is, Sean, how recently did you decide?
Like 2 weeks ago, I think?
2 weeks ago. He has become a vegetarian. So we are going to go over his stack. Neither of us are experts on this by any means. We're pretty intermediate, I would say, with our knowledge level of stuff. So if you're expecting us to go into a bunch of studies and stuff, that's not what this is. This is two average people talking about it. Mm. So first off, let's go over your vegetarian stack.
Yes. So first topic that's always going to come up with a vegetarian is, how did you get your protein? And an easy way is just a protein shake. This is all pure whey isolate, so there's no meat or anything within there, and then you're getting a quick digesting protein. This one right here from Muscle Sport, we got the lean whey, which is 25 grams of protein for 130 calories. That's about a chicken breast. So if you wanted to sub out chicken, you got a nice good protein shake that's going to taste like s'mores instead of chicken.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to go the full vegan, like I'm vegetarian, so most of my stuff is geared towards that. So I would be taking something like this because I like the pure whey isolate. But if you want to kick out that dairy, you have a plant protein. And this one right here from Nutrex, I take this anyway just because it tastes really good.
It is really good.
And the good thing about this one is there's 4 different sources of plant proteins. So you're going to get a more wide spectrum of amino acids. Whereas instead of a pea protein, which is going to be lacking in, I think it lacks in L-leucine. It's either L-leucine or L-lysine. I can't remember what. But it's not a complete full spectrum.
Yeah, and that's one thing to look out for. If you are doing a vegan protein or plant-based protein, like he said, look at the sources. If it's just pea protein, if it's just soy protein, you might want to find something else. Because the issue is that the amino acid breakdown, when you have an animal product or dairy or whatever, it's pretty high in all the things that you need. But plants, if you just have one source, you're really shortchanged on a lot of things. But they do make products that make up for that. Mm-hmm. And also on that point, people think it's very hard to get in protein. Like, say you weren't doing any supplements. If you're a vegetarian, it's really not. I think people just don't understand all of the foods that have a bunch of protein in there. It's just not what you think of when you think of like beef, chicken, eggs, all that stuff. There are a lot of vegetables that do have a lot of protein.
Yeah, so basically for my diet, I was already pretty low in animal products. I was basically just eating fish.
Yeah.
And as soon as I kicked that out, I put in tofu.
Yeah.
Or more chickpea pastas instead of just
lentils,
straight rice.
All that stuff.
Lentils.
Yeah, definitely.
And then on that topic though, there are some deficiencies that you would commonly see when you take out animal products, and the 2 big ones are iron and B vitamins. B vitamins are mostly gotten from the liver, so a lot of people are already kind of deficient in them. But as soon as you take out the rest of that meat, a lot of those B vitamins go away. And since it's a water-soluble vitamin, you're kind of expelling it no matter what.
Yeah.
So a nice B complex will take care of that no matter what. And then again with iron, you can get iron from oats and quinoa and other complex starches, but a little iron, some vegetarians and vegans are going to see iron deficiencies. So an iron supplement from like this one from Solaray is perfect to add in just to get rid of that deficiency. Mm-hmm. And then in terms of also, I already had EEAs, but I just upped my scoopage just to make sure that the protein content and my muscles are being fed. So a nice good amino acid is always nice to have around, even if you're not vegetarian or vegan. But like if you're doing intense training, maybe up a few scoops if you're a vegetarian or vegan. Again, the protein question is always a big one for people. And then something that we always kind of have to talk about is, I'm eating a lot of tofu. You might be a soy boy now. And so even though that is a lot of there's a lot of false knowledge going into the whole thing with soy lowering your testosterone levels. It's really only soy lecithin, and even then it's so minuscule that you're not really going to see it. But if you really are, the last thing I added in was Testovite from High Tech Pharmaceuticals. which has just a bunch of natural testosterone boosters that are going to help with keeping your hormone levels normal and in balance.
Yeah, and with the soy thing, it's super overblown. I think all of the studies show it's like, yeah, there's an increase and people just run with that, but it's almost like that Prop 65 thing. Like, yeah, some things can cause cancer, but if you have to eat, 30 times the recommended dose of something to maybe get like a small amount, it's really not that big of an issue. Yeah. And then with the hormone thing with soy, that's kind of one of my issues with vegetarian stuff, is that most of your hormones come from cholesterol. When I say most, I mean all of them. It's really hard to get your dietary cholesterol in if you're not eating animal products. So what like fats are you eating?
A lot of seeds. Okay. A lot of like pumpkin seeds, nuts. I'm trying to think of the other ones. A lot of nut butters.
Okay.
I throw in a lot of oils.
Okay. Are you getting any like saturated fat at all?
Yeah. So in terms of the saturated fats, it's still kind of on the lower side, but I'm vegetarian, so I still throw in a lot of cheeses. So that's where a lot of the saturated fats are going to be coming from.
Yeah, that's good. I guess most of my arguments would go out the window if you're still doing like dairy then.
Yeah. So for a vegan, it might be a little more difficult. You might want to throw in, is MCT a saturated fat?
I don't think so. Because a saturated fat is a full fatty acid that's fully double bonded, right? And I think those are just short. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a CLA or maybe an MCT oil.
Yeah. So what was your reason of going vegetarian?
I had two main reasons. I like to say very like conscious of the environment.
Okay.
And since animal products have such an impact on the environment, I was like, I should probably start talking the talk or walking the walk instead of talking so much. So I was like, okay, I'll throw it out, and I was already eating like not many.
Pretty much there anyway.
Yeah. And a side thing, it saves a lot of time on meal prepping. Because I don't have to
don't have to cook stuff.
Yeah, I don't have to cook like chicken.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll have to cook is like tofu, and at that point, that thing sears up in like 5 seconds.
What is tofu? It's like a soy byproduct, right?
Yeah, it's a soy byproduct, and I think it's just molded together basically. Basically you're making a chicken nugget.
I think if you see in the store, it comes in like a cube, right?
Yeah, just a big old cube and kind of like a gross watery packet.
When I used to work at a Chinese restaurant, and I would just be like the guy who delivered and stuff, but they would always make me food, and they would make me like a tofu curry all the time. It was incredible.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, this is actually really, really good.
That's another complaint. People are like, oh, but tofu's gross. But it's like, it really just takes on any seasoning you do.
I mean, it's almost like chicken. Like, if you bake chicken and don't put anything on it, it's like, it's not that palatable, but once you put stuff on it, it's good. Yeah. We're probably not going to debate too much stuff because I think we're pretty much in agreement. The effect of, like, mass farming the way it is today, because it's just like, was it monocrop? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, monocropping.
So monocrop farming is actually super. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, but monocrop farming is super bad because you just continuously take the same nutrients from the soil until it's totally dried out. But like what people did back in the day, and what some like private farmers will do, is they'll rotate their crops. So what's put into the soil one year is then what's used by the plant, the next plant the next year, and they keep cycling plants so that it's constantly cycling the soil, putting different nutrients in it that it's needed next year, which is super, super good. But then when you do the monocropping, you take so much stuff out of the soil that it's almost unusable, and you almost can't return the land to what it once was. And all of like the mass like animal farming, and the fact that they just feed them corn all the time, and animals aren't supposed to eat corn.
Yeah.
And then if you think about it, animals aren't supposed to eat corn, but humans have freaking corn syrup and everything. People eat corn all the time. I hate corn.
I don't know who corn is meant for.
I don't like corn.
I hate corn.
I genuinely don't like it.
A, it doesn't taste good, and then B, you just shit it all out anyway.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I don't like things when it's like it's only good if you load it up with butter. It's like, okay. It's like lobster. I don't like lobster because you just have to dump butter on it. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely agree with your reasoning there. If your reasonings, my issue would be if you're trying to do vegan for health reasons, I think you may have been misled a little bit, because I just feel like evolutionarily, we didn't always eat plants. We mainly ate animals. It's like if you go outside, any animal you see, you can eat. But every plant you see, you can't eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when people say the reason, like, oh, I'm trying to be more healthy, it's like, oh.
It's like, yeah, that's... Yeah. if you have to supplement your diet with stuff, it's probably not the optimal health thing. You should have like moral reasons behind it while you're doing it. And what was that one documentary that came out?
Oh, the one on Netflix. It's
it came out like earlier this year, or maybe last year.
It's like Train something.
We're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
One of my issues with that was a lot of the people they looked at were like clearly on steroids. They had like a strong man who was on steroids. It's like, dude, if you take anabolic steroids, it doesn't really matter what you eat. It does, but you're going to grow muscle. You're going to be an athlete. You're going to do all this crazy stuff. They picked the absolute top of the top athletes and like, hey, they're a vegan vegetarian. It's like, yeah, but they're a top athlete.
They're top athletes. They're outliers, basically.
Your N equals 5 of whatever these people are so high up. You got to look at like the average person. It's probably not going to be the same thing. Anyway, I'm ranting on that. But yeah, that's cool that you're doing that. How long are you thinking, like a lifetime type deal?
As far as I plan to, I'm not gonna go back to meat.
Okay. Are you ever gonna get like your blood work and see where things are at?
100%, I would love to.
Yeah, it's definitely a good idea. Every like 3 months or so, see what's going on. Yeah. So if you guys are thinking about becoming a vegetarian or a vegan, leave a comment below. And if you have any questions, Sean's been doing it for a little bit. Actually, my sister has been doing it for 5-6 years.
Oh, dang.
She's been doing it for a really long time. So I can ask her questions. She knows it. She does it really, really well. She's very, very healthy. If you guys have any questions, shoot them below and we will get you the best answers possible. All right? Thanks, guys.